Welcome back to The Reset with me, Sean Tucker. This is episode 20. 20 episodes in. And I'm going to start with saying, nobody cares. And I say that with full compassion for myself and for you listening, because this came to me pretty late. I'm turning 35 this year, but I think it was maybe I heard about it a few years ago, but I only really realized in the last few months that nobody really cares. And if I was to tell my younger self, my 18-year-old self, my 16, 15, 14-year-old self, and also a reminder for my 60 and 80-year-old self, is that nobody cares what you wear, nobody cares what you say, nobody cares how you think, nobody cares how you feel. And I want you to let that sit in and sink in for a second. Because if nobody cares, then why do we care so much? Hear me out. Why is it that we care so much about what other people are thinking about us? This is something that I came across in an Ed Mylett podcast, which is a personal development podcast. 6 years ago. And that is, nobody cares about you because they're too busy thinking about what you're thinking about them. So I'm going to slow that down. People are too busy thinking about what you are thinking about them. So they're so caught up in their head about you judging them for what they're wearing, how they sound, how they look, what they might be thinking, how they might be feeling, etc., etc. And this comes at such a pivotal time in my life, just to remember and remind myself that nobody cares, because everyone will celebrate you failing. Everybody will celebrate you failing. They won't celebrate when you win, especially the people who are in your life right now and maybe are comfortable with the way that you are. They're happy knowing your level of certainty of who you are. And so if you go and change that, what happens is their perspective of you changes, their perception of you changes. It actually threatens the relationship. And being around people who actually want you to win, that is such an important key factor when it comes to not even just winning, but actually experiencing joy in your life. Because most people play not to lose, meaning it's easier to stay in the middle than it is to come last or first. Because either way, the loser gets attention and also the winner gets attention. It's much safer to play in the middle and not be chose last and not be chose first. Because if you come first, it means you have to compete, right? And if you come last, well, it's embarrassing. So it's easier, it's safer to be in the center. But there's something that happens when you become fully involved. And it doesn't matter if you win, it doesn't matter if you lose, right? It's a matter of playing the game as if this is the only game. If you die in this game, you die. If you enjoy this game, you enjoy it. If you hate this game, you hate it, right? And so it's best to be fully involved in whatever this game is. And let's just say it is a soccer game. Let's just say it is a console soccer game, like FIFA, for example. how much fun is it when you are fully involved? When you're getting frustrated at the person who just, stole the ball from you and has now gone and kicked a goal, and now you're 0-1, right? You're actually losing in the game. How annoying is it? But how much fun is it when you don't see that it's just a scorecard? It's just, now's your chance to go and play the game even more intensely, focus even harder. And this, such a permission piece for, I know, so many people out there, because most people are playing not to lose. They're playing the comfort zone. They're playing the center zone where they don't get noticed, where they don't get seen, where they don't get celebrated. They're just running on autopilot. Because when you're playing fully involved, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. But what matters is your perception of how you play. What matters is how you experience it. Because when you're fully involved, you can be that kid who doesn't think, what just happened 5 minutes ago or 5 seconds ago? You move on to the next thing. You experience the emotion and then you move on, right? When a kid falls down and hits their leg on the hard floor, right? Within 5 to 10 seconds, they might cry, they might, release that emotion, and then that's it, they move on. But why is it when we're adults, we don't give ourselves permission to have a little moment of tear or, crying or even saying, shit, that hurt? Then we just bottle it up and move on. We're not allowed to feel our experience. We're not allowed to experience the emotions in our body and go through the 5 senses. It's almost like we're NPCs in our own game. We're supposed to be the key player, the key role, the key character. But yet most of us are playing like NPCs, just on autopilot. We wake up, we have coffee, we get ready for work, we go to work. We run on this treadmill of a life. Then we get home and we might have dinner with our family, wind down, we have a shower and we go to bed. We might sit in our bed and just continue to scroll on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is on the phone. And then we wonder why we're unhappy. We wonder why we can't be joyful. Why this life that we have, which is supposed to be living a dream, has turned into something that's really unpleasant. That makes you question, is this the life you want to live? It's so obvious, but so hard to attain. It's like when you're a young boy or young girl, your imagination is such a wonderful tool. You can literally take a little teacup and pretend you're making coffees and teas. You can make a whole dinner and get all your friends, like your animals or your dolls, and sit them up on the chair and pretend you're having a little tea party. Right? But as adults, we don't do that because it's childish. It's childish, right? And then we start to imagine things that will never happen. Like, what if I run out of money? What will I do then? What if I do something that threatens the relationship that I have with my kids or my wife, or, all these what ifs? What if I had have done this differently? What if I went to university and studied something different? There's all these wild things running in your imagination that don't serve the moment of now. And now is the only moment you can experience. You can experience things in your mind with your vivid imagination, yes. But if you really want to truly experience life, it's only happening now. Your mind is something, it's part of life. but it's not all that life has to offer. And so if we can learn to experience joy and go through and feel the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the grief, the things that make up life as a total, then it means we can move on to the next part, the next experience of life. It means we can continue to grow, to learn, to adapt, just as every human being on this planet is born to do. And I want to leave you with this one thought today. How am I showing up in my everyday life that is not serving who I want to become? Am I showing up as an unhappy dad when my kids are there and I can't even be present with my kids? Is it that I'm showing up ungrateful to me having this life I feel like I don't deserve? What is it? What's that way you're showing up that's not serving who you are becoming or who you are remembering to be? Because all we're doing in this process is remembering who we are. That's all. It just takes a long time because the period of time is just the form of your thoughts and feelings that are getting in the way between that one moment of realization that you are it, that you are remembered, that you are whole, that there's nothing else you need. And that, my friends, is the journey. So if you found this episode to be valuable for you, just share it with one person. And just a reminder that every Sunday, if you're living in Melbourne, especially in the southeast suburbs, every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to about 7:30, we do a 45-minute workout in Mulgrave at Wellington Park Reserve. And it's there for men and dads who want to just go shoulder to shoulder and do a hard workout and then catch up after at the cafe for coffees. It is totally free and it's going to be such an epic time. We kick off this Sunday, and if you're around, we'd love to see you there. Appreciate you for tuning in, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode.